Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be going over the top 5 mids with a couple of honorable mentions for 7.34b. Basically, it was a little bit hard for me to make this video, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really think the mid lane is the most explosive role right now. I actually think in terms of like strong heroes, the better role is support and then a bit of mix of the side lanes. There's quite a few high win rate supports that I really think are standout right now, such as the Witch Doctor, Warlock, Nature's Prophet, Treant, and Venge. I would say those 5 are quite good after the B patch. But yeah, nonetheless, let's get into the mids, kind of break it down what you should be looking to pick and when, and yeah. Alright, before we get into the main part of the video, I do want to let you guys know that I'm not only posting videos here on YouTube, I also frequently post videos on the website. If you don't know what I'm talking about, almost every single day I'm posting a new video to the gameleap website. We're going to teach you guys in depth about how to get to the next level. So if you want to become absolutely broken and really take your game to the next level, I'm going to be able to help you, because sometimes the guides on YouTube, there's either not enough of them, they're not specific, or they're just tier lists, which I know you guys love, but at the end of the day, the gameleap website is going to help you get to the next level. So click the link down below and sign up. Alright, so getting into the honorable mentions, we have any of the spirits, and I just think this is important to lead with because of the fact that, well, for honestly the longest time now, most of the spirit heroes, outside of like recently when Void Spirit was really broken, most of the spirit heroes just don't have very good win rates. And this is kind of a shame because they're all fine, right? At the end of the day, it's not like Storm is that bad, Ember's not that bad, Earth Spirit mid's not that bad, Void Spirit's not that bad. But funny enough, in terms of win rate, they're really close. Like, they're comically close. Earth Spirit's win rate is 47, Ember Spirit's is 47.1, Storm's is 46.9. And then Void Spirits is 46.6. So they're almost all together at these negative win rates. And yeah, I just don't think they deserve to be here. I think they're just hard heroes, require a lot of understanding of mid-maxing. So if you're a mid player, I wouldn't shy away from these heroes. If you're like really gonna dedicate to mid, I would just understand that they're difficult, they have a skill ceiling, and you have to reach a high level if you want to make them look good. If you want a more basic hero and heroes that are more well-rounded, well, that is going to be the other heroes on this list. They're not your traditional mids, or less so your traditional mids, and some of them are. But some of them are a bit weird, right? It's a bit of a mix. I'd say it's half and half. All right, so coming in at number 5, I swear this is the weirdest one, and no, the rest of the list isn't gonna be like this. Just don't think this is some like complete meme video. But Witch Doctor, even after being nerfed really hard, is the highest win rate hero in Dota still. Even after the Death Ward cooldown being nerfed, Death Ward attack range being nerfed, losing base damage. I think he lost something else too, like ink gain or something. Even with all of that, he's still the highest win rate. And I unironically think this hero is actually a very good mid. So let me break down how I think you should play it. And I'm not just saying, I'm gonna make a video on this probably separately because I do think it's legit, I think it's good. First things to talk about, max Q one-shots creep waves, just about. It also one-shots creep camps. This means you can farm, right? And that's important. Pushing out the creep wave quickly and being able to kill neutrals is important for mid lane heroes. It gives you options, especially if you can clear mid quickly. Good mid players, and hopefully this is a concept you can remember even just from this video, good mid players will push out the wave fast and then go to a side lane. It makes the kill less obvious, and it means that you're not losing farm, or less likely to lose as much farm, compared to just randomly rotating when there's a creep wave right in front of you, right? Which players do frequently, very frequently. So, getting back to the Witch Doctor mid, you're gonna max your stun and your maledict. You're gonna buy bottle, so you don't actually need the heal to sustain, right? You're gonna buy bottle, and yeah, the laning stage is very good. You're just gonna spam the stun on the enemy to secure the range creep, or just harass them, maybe get a deny because you're stunning them, and you're gonna stun them in combination with maledict. You're gonna take stun at level 3. I think some people would be baited into taking maledict, but take the stun, it does a lot of damage. As I said, it secures creeps and pushes out the wave, which makes it pretty easy to lane. If you could push the wave into the enemy, it becomes easier to lane because they're gonna take creep aggro and they're more likely to have to last under tower longer than you. And then from there, it's kind of just about maxing out your nukes, looking for kills with Death Ward, and then scaling into more of a mid-ground build. I think what people are gonna do wrong is they're gonna all in on some sort of Ags build, and I don't like that angle. The reason why is it's too committal for me. The problem with rushing Ags on Witch Doctor is if Death Ward gets canceled, you're pretty useless. Now, if you are like, but Speed, every time I see Witch Doctor in my pubs, it rushes Ags and kills my entire team. You know what, if you're in that bracket and that's consistently happening, feel free, go for it. Buy an Ags and 1v9 the game, especially when you hit level 12 and then eventually level 18. Do it. But if you want more of a middle ground build, I recommend going the heal build, right? And you might be like, what? But I'm not skilling heal. It's fine. You're a mid player. You have a lot of levels. You're going to get a lot of kills early on. That's going to give you more levels. You should be able to farm if you're using stun on neutral camps and the creep waves. You should be able to farm. You'll eventually get your levels up, and you're going to be tanky, and you don't need items to do damage. The only damage item I recommend you buy early on if you want a damage item is Spirit Vessel. It does a lot of damage with Maledict. It's very, very good. And eventually your Shard. That is something you should buy your Shard as soon as humanly possible. Your Shard and Vessel, those can be your damage items. Outside of that, Holy Locket, Pavis, Greaves, Pipe, whatever's good for the game. Buy the Holy Locket, and then buy whatever's good for the game. You need damage block from physical, right? Go Scepter, go Pavis. You could even go Crimson if it's really good for the game. Whatever it is, just tank up. And the reason why this is good is you don't need damage items to do damage on Witch Doctor. And then later on, when you have high points in Death Ward and the cooldown's lower, because it scales really well, then you go back for Ags and BKB. Late game, you go Ags, BKB. Early game, your spells do a ton of damage. They help you farm. It's a good lane. I really believe in it, right? It's actually good. So that's why it's number 5. It's a bit weird, but it is good. Then we have Zeus, and I think Zeus is kind of just, it's been a good pop hero for a while. You know, Zeus is kind of just like, it scales well, does percentage-based damage. They changed the ulti where it scales a bit better now too, right? The ulti does percentage-based damage, so it scales better into the late game, just based on numbers on average. And on top of that, I think what a lot of mid players on Zeus aren't even doing well enough. Like, the win rate's good, it's 51, but what they don't even do well enough is abuse Manta Shard. This is incredible. The Manta Shard Zeus, if you haven't seen it, it makes it where your auto attacks proc Art Lightning, a reducer version of it. However, Mantas, they proc it. And so Manta style with Shard clears creep waves, and it like kills heroes quite quick. So you just can pop this Manta in team fights and put it on a support. Good on Zeus because it helps you dispel silences and get off backline jumpers. Doesn't give you mana, so that's why I'm saying this is a mixed build. I'm not saying go mana boots Manta style, that's crap. You go some sort of mana boots into Phylactery Kaya, like Kaya Sanj, and then you go Manta. And it feels great. You're very, very tanky, you do a ton of damage, you have great scaling, and eventually you can go Octarine Core, and the split push and farming potential of this hero. You're like a discount Naga Siren, you're like Walmart Naga Siren. It's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. And so, yeah, well-rounded hero, scales well, easy to lane with. Manta style build is better than people think. Definitely number 4 on the list. Number 3 is Necrophos, and I plan on making a video on this hero. I think Necrophos is quite good right now. I think Radiance Necro, it got buffed a little bit. It's like particularly good against illusions, so damn, because Radiance does bonus damage to illusions. So if you're against illusion heroes, Necro can cook nowadays, because not only does he not die to them due to Ghost Shroud, with the Radiance being better, you know, Heartstopper being good, Death Pulse being good against illusions, you can get really strong. But yeah, the hero is a good laner. It's very easy to lane with mid. It has very few bad matchups. So you're going to do well there almost always, which is good for pubs. It's consistency. Having heroes that can be consistent are good. I would say Zeus and Witch Doctor are quite consistent. They have very few bad matchups. That helps in pubs, right? Kind of cuts out some of the variance. Necro is very much the case. And then from there, I recommend you buy Treads and Windlace, Raindrops, Wand, then go Radiance. After Radiance, you're going to pick up a Heart or a Kaya Sanj. And the reason why is eventually in the late game, you're going to scale into an item build that looks something like Radiance, Heart, Kaya Sanj, and then Ags. Aghanim Scepter on Necrophos makes it where 60% of your HP regen is dealt as damage, right? In Heartstopper range. This is great because it gives you a way to scale a Necro that you couldn't have in the past. The hero would sometimes fall off. But now you have this really hardcore AoE damage build that scales with Reaper Scythe stacks, because every time you get a kill with your ultimate, you get extra HP regen. That HP regen, well, then turns into damage with your axe. And then yeah, there's tons of items you can build in the late game to get HP regen. I mentioned the Heart, the Kaya Sanj, and then there's other items as well, right? There's also some cool funny meme strats you can do, like Healing Word on Jug gives HP regen, and it's really funny how much damage you can do. So I might make a meme video on that, I don't know. Maybe someone's actually, I wouldn't be surprised if someone has made a meme video on that already, because it is pretty funny how much you can do if you like truly min-max it on certain heroes. Like, I'm pretty sure we can use Wyvern and Jug. It's good without it, but it's just funny. All right, getting into number 2 is Invoker. I thought the hero after the nerfs would be worse, like much, much worse, but that doesn't really seem to be the case. I've seen it in pubs and it still seems to be doing quite well. At the end of the day, it's a universal hero now. It really benefited the hero. Spirit Vessel is cheaper now. Yes, it gives half the stats. I will say that is a hurt to Invoker because he benefited from the right-click damage that he would get from being universal. But at the end of the day, it's a 200 gold cheaper Spirit Vessel on a mid-Invoker that wants to play tempo. You don't feel that bad, and you buy it from Crown Urn anyway. It's like incredibly good build-up. And then you buy Fluffy Hat. It's like, is that really that bad? It's health. Like, sure, it's fine. right? So the hero's spells are still much better. You know, they buffed a lot of his spells. Yes, they nerfed the talents. Yes, they nerfed Wex cooldown reduction. Yes, they nerfed Ghost Walk. They nerfed a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I really thought his win rate would drop harder after the B patch. It didn't. Yeah, just seems like all the buffs they gave him outweigh all the nerfs that they gave in B. You know, at the end of the day, the hero was like, what, 56, 55% win rate? And so even though they nerfed him really hard, he dropped about 3% win rate. That only dropped him to, well, now what he's currently sitting at, which is 52.55. And so if you're an Invoker player, still Wex Invoker, very, very good. You can still play high tempo, Ghost Walk. It literally made you in the fountain previously. They cut the numbers in half. It's still good, right? Yes, you're not in your fountain, but you're in half of your fountain. It's not that bad. It's still good. It was broken, and so now it's still good. That's how I see the hero, so it deserves number 2 on the list. It's very well-rounded, limited bad matchups mid, and it scales well, right? So it's kind of just one of those heroes that's going to be good in pubs. And finally, on the same note of heroes, we have Queen of Pain, one of the highest win rate mids of the patch, and this hero got buffed really, really hard. They buffed the cast range on the E, the Scream of Pain. It's easier to hit people with it. Dagger got buffed. The cooldown is lower at level 1 and level 2, and level 3, but by only slightly at level 3. So yeah, it's a better laner because of those buffs. It scales better because of the E buff. It's easier to use the E without overcommitting. And then they buffed the ult. It just does more damage at max level. It does 100 more pure damage at max level, right? So that's wonderful. And the hero's been good. It's been good. So there's a few different builds that people go on this hero. The most common build is some sort of like stat right-click build. So the most common build is a Treads in a Witchblade Kaiasange, at least in the pro scene, that is the most common build. Treads, Witchblade Kaiasange. You kind of do a lot of damage in the early game and stick on top of people with these items, and you right-click pretty hard, so that's nice. And then after that, you go Aghanim Scepter, and the Axe is just so much damage. It allows you to scale incredibly well. There are some other builds and other players who go like Kaya into Axe or just like Falcon Blade into Axe. I'm looking at the builds right now, and yeah, there's definitely some variation. As I said, the most common one is Witchblade into Kaiasange. It's just a lot of damage, lets you scale well and be tanky, and then into Axe. And so as long as you go that build, you have a reliable laning stage, you play well into the early game because you're going Witchblade. So you have a lot of armor, a lot of attack speed, a lot of HP, a good amount of mana regen and mana. It's very well rounded. And then the Kaiasange, kind of same thing, helps you scale. And yeah, as long as you continue to scale, like please hit timings on this hero. People will fight too much. You can push in creep waves very effectively, and then you eventually buy Axe. And man, this Axe is so much damn damage, right? Just being able to AoE Shadow Strike, when people clump up, it cooks. And if there's anything I can tell you about average MMR pubs, guys, people clump up. It is very easy to hit people with AoE spells. As people get better and better, it's harder, I'm just being honest. And so if you're in the average bracket, heroes like Quap will tend to do better. Heroes like Sand King will do slightly better. Just in terms of their ability to have impact in team fights. Your Sonic Wave is probably going to hit more people if you position it well, right? That's part of the equation too. You actually have to be good, unfortunately, for this to matter. But yeah, Sand King's Epicenter will be better. And the Quap Axe is such a notable one because when people clump up and you reset all the daggers, it does, I mean, it is broken damage. Like, it is crazy stuff if people over clump and you reapply the daggers. It's disgusting. It's a 4-second cooldown, 300 damage nuke, more if you get the level 20 talent. But alright, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, as I'm going to be making a lot more tier lists soon. I plan on making a new builds video as well very, very soon because of the fact that I made one the day after the patch, but things have changed up a lot since then, so I'm going to, make a new build to try. I have a lot of different ones for you guys, and yeah, I'm excited to put that out. But alright, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.